Hi, we're here with Justin. Hello, Justin. Thank you for joining us. Welcome. Introduce yourself and tell us about you.
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you, Dennis, for having me. It's an honor to be selected at the film festival. So, thank you again. But my name is Justin, Justin Shi. I'm from New York City originally. I'm currently in grad school at Columbia in the MFA program for creative producing, entering my last year. I've always had an innate passion for the arts. I used to draw. Prior to going to film school, I was actually working in the financial sector, but it didn't really fulfill me completely. So I kind of took a leap of faith and decided to go, to the program in Columbia, which has been excellent so far. And yeah, that's where I'm at now.
Oh, great. All righty. So, what made you want to be a filmmaker? How did that happen?
I've always had an innate passion for cinema, for for the arts. And so it's a 3-year program at Columbia. I'm in school for creative producing. And after the completion of the first year, every student is required to make what's called a 5 to 12 minute film and over the summer. And so that's what I did my film when I in Bridge. Even though it's not 12 minutes, it's 20 minutes. So, I was thinking I'm in school for producing. If I want to be a director, if I really enjoy it, I want to put my all in it. I want to go 100%. And so that really, I really enjoyed being on set, directing, writing, and that really reaffirmed my belief in becoming a writer director. So
And I guess this is your first film, or have
yeah,
you done others?
my directorial debut, like when I was younger, I did, some summer programs. I attended New York Film Academy. I went to like Oxford for a film program, RISD. But this is my first formal film that I've, directed, written, and produced. And yeah, no, I've been doing it for too long, but I really do believe that this is my path. This is really what I want to do. And luckily, people around me, my family, they're all very supportive. They're completely in divergent industries, but yeah, they're very supportive. So
That was actually my next question was going to be, so what did your friends and family say when you said, okay, I'm giving up Wall Street and I'm going to make movies? Did they sit there and say you're insane, don't?
yeah, no, no. I mean, luckily, I think being from New York City, people are very open-minded. Like I was all my life, I've been surrounded by not only people in finance and like real estate, but artists as well and filmmakers. And I think, they've been very supportive, and my family has been very supportive. My mom isn't a cinephile herself. So um, there were no adverse reactions. No one was like, "Oh, you're crazy." And I mean, obviously, it's risky business, but it's truly what I want to do. So, yeah, yeah.
Okay, good. You're lucky. That's great. All right, so where you are, I guess in some ways you do have this, but do you have your tribe, your support group, like your go-to people? Are you
Yeah. Yeah, no, this is a good question. Obviously being in the Columbia MFA program, it's a very renowned program. I collaborate with a lot of my classmates, so I have a lot of collaborators there, but also my peers outside of school have been very supportive. It's such a diverse and, you know, microcosm of all cultures and people that you're bound to find someone or some people to support you and find some artists along the way. And I think that really, it's paramount that you keep these people in contact. And I just came from con, I'm wearing a hat, but I think the most salient part of the trip was really just meeting people around the world, younger generations, older generations from around the world, coming to one place, to watch and share cinema. So, it's great to just keep in contact with people and, connecting with old friends that I didn't know were in film now that I just realized are doing it. And, yeah, and just like reconnecting them, I think it's amazing. So yeah.
That's great. So what made you decide on this movie? this subject, this movie?
What
And
made me, yeah, so, I've always been driven by, kind of dramas, thrillers, like, more genre films. Some of my favorite filmmakers include David Fincher. I love Richard Linklater, Ruben Östlund, Kurosawa, Fellini, but you know, I have a tattoo on my thigh. It's a Scorsese quote, and Bong Joon-ho reiterated at the Oscars, but says, the most personal is the most creative. And I took that to heart. So like when I wrote the script, I took from what I know, but it's also a movie. I exaggerated. And so I was inspired by films like American Psycho, Days Confused, Everybody Wants Them, but kind of a meets like a Get Out where it turns into something more darker, more sinister. And I enjoy slow burn films as well, but also I shot it at my parents' house. So I was lucky to save money on the budget as well. So I wanted to make something confined and something that was true to the life that I lived growing up, in New York City, being surrounded by these type of people. So yeah, that's really what inspired me. Yeah.
what was the most hardest part about making a movie? And what was the most fun part about making the movie?
Like adjusting this to certain changes during shooting days. For example, there's one scene in the film where the main protagonist Sam is talking to the woman Alana in this living room area, and initially we're going to shoot that outside of my on the balcony, but it was rained out. So I think that was one tough aspect, just adjusting to the weather, but also um I think that was the toughest part, actually. I mean, like, I had to find time finding my crew, and also, I'd love to a huge shout out to my crew and my cast, for coming, bring my vision to life. I think they really did an excellent job. And the funnest part was probably, not gonna lie, shooting the party scene. Like, there's a montage sequence in the film, and that was probably the funnest because everyone was really in their element. I think everyone really got close to each other. And in addition to that, I think it was bonding with the crew and cast outside the film and just, hang out with them outside film. And that really, really brought us closer and made the film stronger, in my opinion. So, yeah.
Are you the type of person that you finish a project, you put that baby out into the world, and you're done, and it's done? If you see a mistake, you go, next time I'll fix it. Or you're the kind of person that sits there and looks at what you've created and go, someday I'm going to get enough money and I'm going to fix that. I'm going to redo that and make it better. Which way do you think you are?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think Jack Lechner, shout out to him, he's my advisor at Columbia, but also he told me like no film ever turns out the way you initially planned it, like 100% the way you planned. There's always something that is, like different alteration, but like, you know, I think I'm very satisfied, with the job I did. There are certain things I would have changed, but it's my directorial debut, and I think from that it can carry on to my next film. Right now, I'm working on a feature length version of A Night in Bridge, and I'm using this as a proof of concept. But I think the lessons carry on. There's some things that linger that I could change, but I think I'm just to take that and carry on to my next film. So
Okay, all right. So we all know that in the indie film world, we're not going to be Taylor Swift and flying back from Asia to go to a football game in our private jet. What do you think success in the indie film world looks, smells, and tastes like? What is,
yeah, I mean, for me, like I think I'm espousing quotes from filmmakers, but like Tarantino said, you don't make the film for the audience, you make it for yourself, and that's what makes it your voice, right? So I think it's not, I mean, obviously, like you want to make money when you make films, but um, I I wish that people just watch my films that they enjoy, that they really enjoy, and I hopes hope it gets seen by as many eyes as possible. Um, and with that obviously comes the monetary aspect of it, but I think that's the thing that comes to mind. I want people, to watch my film. I love making them, and I just want people to enjoy it. So that's like, yeah, that's success to me. So
Okay. So this is my last question. So somebody comes along and goes, hey, I'm Justin. I want to be a filmmaker, an indie filmmaker, just like you. What would you say? How would that conversation go? Would you tell them to run? Would you say go for it? What would happen? How would that conversation go?
I would say go for it, just start making films, like one of the best professors who, I've learned under Ramin Balrani, he's like an indie film master. He did the film White Tiger, he did Chop Shop, Paper Bag, and he said, just start shooting. Just use your iPhone, just start shooting. Like wherever you're on the street, doesn't matter, just start writing. And I think, you know, the more you shoot, the more you'll mold your voice, the more your voice will come out. And so I think that's quite powerful in a sense. Be realistic, when it comes, don't get ahead of yourself. I want to shoot a feature film for my first debut. I was like, oh no, I got to do short first. But just really just, start digesting information, reading, and yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you, Justin. I'm glad
Thank
we
you,
got
guys.
connected. I'm actually going to turn off record, but don't go away yet. All right. Thank you for joining us, and see you at the festival.